after we start.
Okay.
Okay. Please rise to the pledge of allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Christina, you have the roll.
I do, and I have Lori as an attendance, but Bobby Joe got on her way, so I'm just gonna omit that for now, just in case she shows up, I'll add her.
We need to approve tonight's agenda.
I'll approve tonight's agenda.
Thank you. Motion to approve.
Second.
One second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, passes. All items on the consent agenda will be passed with one council motion unless there is something someone wants to pull out. I've got nothing, so.
Consent agenda.
Thank you. And second,
Second.
any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? And none passes.
Bobby Joe.
Forum? Be here for the Blackduck
Everybody here is,
is on,
has got the agenda.
then we'll move right to, reports of committees and staff. Mike?
Well, really the only thing that I have this time, after the work session, we talked a bit about the grader and the state of disrepair that it was in and all that. Talked a little bit about a few different prices on things. I think on your computers there, Christina put the pictures of a local unit in there. That unit was originally owned by the city of Bemidji. They owned it. When they upgraded, it was sold to, it would be the father of the current streets superintendent for Bemidji, JD Hansen Construction. I'm sure you've heard of it down there. He owned it for a few years. He has since passed away and the children are dissolving the business. Dave Hansen obviously knew I was looking and kind of let me know about it. That unit, as you see it, that's a 2006 John Deere. It's got 6,000 hours on it, which is pretty low. I mean, there are units out there with lower hours, but the price tag goes up a lot. Now 6,000 is pretty low for what it is. And I don't know how much you were able to really zoom in on those pictures or not, but the machine is immaculate for what it is. It was really taken well care of. They have all the service records and everything for it. That machine, 14-foot moldboard on it, which is the same size as what we have now. Dave didn't know the exact wing length. He was going to get that to me, but it's pretty standard. I would guess it's a 10 to 12-foot wing length, most likely. I want to say it was right around 220 horsepower for what that motor puts out. It's got all new rubber on it all around. It's got new batteries, plastic fenders. It's really been kept in nice shape. So now the big sticker shock, 80 grand, which in all honesty is a really fair price for what it is. I didn't print off a bunch of pictures of other machinery. I mean, you guys can go online and type those numbers in and find that out pretty quickly. But to give you a rundown of kind of the high and the low and the average, the lowest price I found on anything was on a 772 was a 2008 model for $59,000. And that was actually just over in Wisconsin. That has 9.2 thousand hours on it. It does have a wing, but it's in really, really, really rough shape.
9.2.
Yeah, so $9,200. Yep. It's a machine that has been parked outside its whole life and had very little maintenance done. On the high side, again, this is a 2008. There wasn't much for 2006s, but 2008 is the same thing. Right before it went to all the def and everything being needed. But there's a 2008. This one's a little lower miles or hours, I should say, at 1,400. It does not have a wing, but it's in excellent condition. $132,000, and that's still a used price. Now the average that I really found, the average is right around that 10 to 12,000 hours for these 2006, 2008s. And the average price seems to be, for the condition, seems to be around 80, 90,000, and that's without a wing. So that wings, it's a big chunk of steel. It costs, you know, a good amount of money to put one of those on. So, and again, the 80,000 is Dave's asking price for us. Now, this hasn't been advertised to anyone else yet. He knew that we were looking and we were going to be looking pretty shortly. So he hasn't put it out there yet. He's kind of been waiting for us.
But does this one have JD link in it?
What's that?
Does the 772 have the JD link?
With all the GPS and all that, that's,
So if anything pops up maintenance wise.
yeah, it's got the onboard screen and the now I'm losing my mind. The message center, essentially, that'll pop up and tell you, yeah, what's going on.
And it also will send that message to Nortrax?
I believe so. I believe so. That's a little different. I mean, you know, the equipment we run here, it's a little bit older. I'm not totally familiar with that. John Deere tractors, I know how they're running and I know how that works. If it's the same thing, which I'm assuming it is, then yeah.
Where if somebody's operating it, you'll even get a text or an email.
If it's set up properly, yep. So I guess really, you know, I'm here, we talked about this last time, trying to figure out what we're gonna do. I gotta know something on this at least, you know, if it's something that you're serious about, or if it's something that we're just not gonna consider. I need to at least let Dave know, you know, he was gracious enough to kind of give us the first crack at this. Questions?
When was our current grader purchased?
Oh, I would have to go back and look to see exactly. Huh?
It's a 94.
No, it's not a 94. It's a 70, 78, 81. It was purchased well before my time and it was well loved and well used when it was bought. It replaced a
Older.
62 model.
We sold that one and picked that new stuff that they have somewhere around 2016 max that I can recall.
No, before that, wasn't it?
Don't quote me on the year, but I know it was before you. Bob was still in the department, but we got rid of the really, really old one and bought this one basically for maybe about less than 10 grand more than what we sold the old one for.
If they didn't upgrade it as far as they should have.
Not far enough, but
It was the Band-Aid to get by. I'm assuming they were probably in about the same situation we are right now. And they just got what was around and available quickly and made it.
if memory serves me right, we sold the older one for like 23 and got the other one for like 39, 43, something like that. So we spent a good 10, 15 difference once we got rid of the other one.
And right now, the current condition of this one, you know, the one that we own now, hard to say exact value. I would guess 10, 12,000 we could probably get for it.
I'm just thinking with
That's along the lines of what McCoy has.
current projects coming up. You know,
Yep.
not a whole lot of gravel.
Yep, well, I mean, I get it, I understand, but it's that thing that I've said to everybody, I'm gonna keep coming back. It's my job. Keep telling you what we need.
And what I told Mike was, since I wasn't here at the work session, I have not had any time to really dive into numbers to see where the council wants to pursue this, where that money could be come at this point. So I really have no way of giving you guys a recommendation financially how to do this.
It's not listed for sale right now, though. It's just sitting there.
It's-
While I mean,
Right now, it's sitting there. It was soon to be listed. It's sitting essentially, in all honesty, waiting on us. Either we're gonna go for it or he's gonna list it. So that's kind of where, I mean, he knows how this works. He knows how the government works, you know, the councils, he gets it, he works for Bemidji. At the same time, I don't want to drag him out 3, 4, 5 months or something, you know.
Well, it's only been what, 2 weeks?
I've been talking to him for a while. Regardless of that, what I'm saying is I just don't want to have him sit there on it, waiting for us, not listing it. You know, for 3 months when somebody could just tell me now, hey, no, we're done. So. I'd love you to vote on it and say, yeah, go buy it. I mean, I'd love that, but you know, at minimum, I mean, either we're actually serious about this or we're not.
all right. I mean, I see it's under consideration, so I'm not gonna get a vote.
No, I'm aware of it. I'm aware of that, but you know, a better feeling of where people are at with this
Okay, so
before I go down and test drive it and everything else and, you know, use up his time and my time.
I guess I'm leaning more towards no, but that's my opinion. Well, the rest of the council got an opinion?
Right now, you know, I would definitely like options as far as, you know, how we're gonna pay for it. If there are grants that we could, you know, look into.
Sure.
Things like that would be a yes moving forward.
Definitely like to see the financial. See if they are feasible or feasible, but I would like to see something. But when winter hits again,
Winter, like I've said, winter wasn't as bad. You're really gonna be able to tell that it's down now. Because now is when it's really gonna shine that I can't use it properly.
is it a washboard road you're saying?
Well, it's the sag to it that it drops off. I'm gonna, as soon as I get into something, especially with the roads being wet, it's just gonna dig and cut right down. I mean, we can try to feather it manually, you know, we can get it somewhat, but I'm not gonna tell you these roads are gonna look real nice.
Okay. Then you wanna, if there's nothing else on the grader?
Well, if the council's okay, public work maybe does have meetings scheduled for this week, we could address it on Thursday.
We could.
Besides the policies that are.
All right,
That's really about all I have for you guys on that. And really all I have for you in general this one.
it's gonna snow tomorrow.
I quit. I don't know why you gotta say stuff like that.
All right. Shonda,
Yeah, I gave you guys just a offshoot of past this week's little bars graph there, kind of showing you how things are progressing, that we did a significant amount gross sales over last year and over previous years. It hasn't been super crazy busy, kind of the time of the year, time of the year. Weather has a lot to do with it. Hopefully snow melts, gets warm, we get those cabin people back up here, open their cabins. Yeah. But, yeah, we have bingo coming up May 1st. We're having a karaoke gentleman, somebody we haven't tried before. He's coming up. on the 23rd of April. So, and keep some events going, trying to keep people out, get people out and about. And that's about all I have. Got any questions for me? All right.
Are all of our, I do have a quick question, are all of our cameras installed now, security wise?
All the ones that we've had before are up. We did not pursue a security system when we looked at them. They were to upgrade would be, I don't remember,
Up to
50,000.
$30,000, $40,000.
Yeah.
From a couple of quotes we did look at, when we were working on the plans for remodel.
But we are still using the one that we had before. And Christine and I moved cameras around and
Okay. Anything else for Shonda? Move the golf course.
Staff started today. The grounds people started today. Tony and Isla and Jim. They're just gonna start, they helped me in the basement a little bit today, and then they're gonna start going through the carpets tomorrow. Tomorrow, Tommy Callio comes and does the flooring in the restrooms. It'll start tomorrow, completion will be Friday. We're having a staff appreciation to start off on the 13th. And no, that's about it for me.
And the council is welcome to come to the
Yeah, on the 13th, it's for
Appreciation.
council. Mike and Chris should probably come.
Yeah, you guys can show
yeah.
up there.
And Mike and Chris have been down helping me. They, Chris helped, rip the carpet and everything out down there. Both the guys have been down there quite a bit helping out, which has been huge. And they helped me set up kind of a new merchandising area too, so. It's a hot mess down there right now, but it's coming along.
I received a good comment from a member on the website. We
Oh,
were very pleased.
yeah, the
It was very
website's done.
Professional, and
I don't know if you can pull it up yet, though. Have you tried?
I have not, but this came from.
Every
Sandy
time I
Anderson, and she
look at
was
it,
really
yeah.
excited about it.
I can send you the link and you can go to the website, but if you just Google it and try to go to the website,
Not live yet.
no,
no.
they haven't identified or our URLs or anything like that. So there's no, that's.
I
something
have
that's-
mine.
haven't gotten mine yet.
I don't know.
I mean, I can send the links through the computer. You can look at it in work in progress.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you Google it, it's not.
Yeah, mine was supposed to be live, but it's not. So I do plan on calling them and seeing what the hiccup is. Because right now it still goes to the cities.
Right,
So.
we're trying to still gather some photos and some stuff. Ours is, yeah,
Yeah, it looks really good though. It's really eye catching. Looks good.
It will be ready for your software and
Yep.
all that
I have to
by your
wait.
opening date, whatever
Hope
that
so. I don't have a computer yet, so
works out to.
hopefully that's coming. And I was told like the second or third week in April. So I'm just patiently waiting for that.
Anything else for Misty? Thank you.
Mhm.
Oh, from the library.
I should probably chime in on this, and Kelly's not here, but I know that you guys had some meetings since the work session. I provided the capital appropriation policy from
Okay, you
Chagani
need
for
that
the.
from the packet that I received.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, so that there was some clarity on how that money could be spent, but I
Yep.
thought it'd be a good idea maybe to recap what you and Mike and Bobby Joe.
So Bobby Joe, Mike, myself, Kelly, is that Mary?
Williamson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Got together, there was a list, there was an ideas that were thrown around about enlarging the library, putting an addition on with a hallway and a study room on one side and a meeting room on the other side. There was also the idea of purchasing a different building. Kelly was going to meet with the the bank owner, so the empty bank, the Wells Fargo that's sitting there. We're supposed to go and tour that on the 12th. Okay. And see if that's gonna help, if that's something we can move forward with, maybe it's not. And Mike, did you end up getting any quotes on that addition part yet?
No, I haven't been out to the lumberyard
Okay.
yet since I don't know what day we got together last week, late in the week. I haven't been out there. I'll get there.
Okay. So far, that's what we've met. We met that one time. The library board didn't have a meeting until from November to February. So actually March, I'm sorry, they didn't have one in January. They didn't have one in December because they don't, and then January and February were canceled due to weather. And then, so they just have their first meeting for this year, the local library. So, and we struggled to get enough people to have votes.
My directive was providing the policy was so that there was some clarity of what the money could be spent for. And how Kitchigami is going to expect it. So the council needs to be aware of that as well as the local library board. After the discussion Mike and Lori had with telling them, I find it probably a necessity for one or two people from the local library board to attend a work session and to start really having some hard discussions about what this money is spent on. Because according to this policy, both boards need
Yes.
before Kitchi will.
Yeah, it's right there. Local library board, city, county as required, approved separate. Okay,
So hopefully at the April 18th work session.
I sent them an email. I hope they're getting these emails. I need to follow up because I don't get responses, so I don't know if they're getting them or not. I sent a packet. There's some other things that we had that I sent them and I haven't heard back.
I did hear from Melissa, new director, since you and I spoke recently, and there are two other library branches that have requested and received funding, and there's also one entity that requested and got denied. One of those branches put in a new HVAC system and it's approved, and the other entity put in a whole slew of internal shelving and furniture and updates to interior, and that was approved as well for the funding. Yeah, some ideas of what they allowed, but yeah, the other one got denied because it was too big. I'm gonna put that on the work session now.
yes. Absolutely. I'll have a talk with Kelly too, just to make sure.
Yeah, and I'm not able to go on the 12th to their next meeting.
I thought that was the 11th.
She says it's the 12th, and without my calendar, I don't.
Okay,
I had this in number to 11.
Good birthday
They have
celebration.
plans.
all right. Okay, Christina, what have you got for us?
All right, I have a few things that need to get approved, and then I have a couple of presentations for you. The first one is a resolution acknowledging the donation from the development park for the golf course renovations, so this needs to be formally received. Approval on that one, please.
Good.
I'll approve resolution 2022-08, resolution acknowledging a donation from Blackduck Development Corporation for the golf course.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on this? All those in favor? Excuse me?
So that's really nice.
All those in favor?
I
Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Second approval I need is for approval for the May 1st excluded bingo license for the chamber.
Do I have a motion to approve resolution number 2022-09?
Motion to approve resolution 2022. Resolution approving the excluded bingo license for Blackduck.
Motion to have a second.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried.
And then we're up to C, and that's Jessie. Hello.
So Sandy and Richard and Brooke and Jacob have graciously been doing prom and after prom forever. Sandy is kind of trying to step back from it. Last year, she had someone else kind of coordinate the after prom. Heather person did it. This year, I was the lucky candidate. It's hard to find, as you guys know, to get people involved. It's hard to find people that want to commit to stay after. In years past, we've gone as late as what, 5 a.m.
Once upon a time.
Yeah. Yeah. 8
Yeah,
a.m.
I remember.
So when you tell the parents how late they have to stay, they're like, wow. So it's hard to get the parents involved too, to be honest. So we have another meeting coming up this Thursday, and I've sent out multiple messages trying to get junior parents involved. Well, this year we have all the area schools except North Pepper Counties. So we have a handful of kids that aren't going to be here because they're going to prom with someone else. So it's hard to find, and if their kid's not going to be there, parents will. So, which, whatever. So one of the things we did, Jacob graciously put together games and events we've done in the past for after prom. So I printed them out. This was a survey that went out to the kids. And this went out about, I think, 2 weeks ago. And you can see the results. Only 41 responses. I think it went out to all the juniors and seniors. So a lot of kids don't look at their email apparently, but I think we had not quite half, you say? Yeah, about half. So.
And the only sponsors in there are ones that are actually attending prom and after prom. So that affects the number also.
Yeah. So, and if kids, and there are a handful of kids, I talked to Sandy this afternoon, there's a handful of kids that have asked if they can come to our after prom, even if they go to another prom with someone else. Which I think they're gonna look at. It's hard because, they have a boyfriend, girlfriend somewhere else and they want to go to their prom. So, so that affects some kids too. But as you can see, the favorites in here are laser tag, scavenger hunt, cornhole is a big one, very time consuming, but it's been a favorite for a while. So I did order the laser tag. And I don't even know where it's coming from. I think somewhere on the East Coast. I tried to find local, and I don't know if there's anybody local around here that actually rents them. I heard there was someone in North Home, but they ordered it in from somewhere. And I couldn't find them on the internet. So I don't even know who it is. But I was told that after the fact. So
I can't believe that glow in the dark dodgeball doesn't have a better following.
You're dating yourself.
Yeah, just.
Do you want to see the ball coming at your face or not? I don't know. Maybe that's not a good thing. I don't know. So anyhow, the nice thing about that Richard and Sandy and Jacob and Brooke have always done is the prizes are phenomenal that they give these kids, you know? And I've sat down with some juniors and seniors and I've asked them, what do you want to see? And one of the things they told me was gas cards. Sure. Money for gas, so I'm like, yeah, I can understand that. Gift cards, they love to use gift cards. So the donations that we receive go, the majority of it is for the prizes and gifts. The seniors always get, I would say the more expensive gift for the nicer gifts. Do a lot of like microwaves, mini fridges, stuff they can use for college, and that seems to be really appreciated. So that, in a nutshell, is kind of what we're using for the games, the expense of the games and prizes. I miss it.
No, most of the money they do try and spend in town as much as possible, so
Yes.
gas cards, all that kind of stuff, try and buy here as much as they can. Northwoods has tried to get refrigerators and stuff in the past and probably get some, but it's not always possible either. But as much that we can buy in town is purchased.
Okay,
Max, I provided a history of the donations the city's done out of the grant fund for this project each year since I can go back as far as you can see that it increased back in, what was that? In 17, we bumped it up to $1,000. It's been like that. The only year we missed was the year there was no outcome. It was COVID. So that helps you with a reference point to take any action. Right.
well, then I would make a motion to donate 1,500.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on it? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. Keep the kids safe. At least that night.
Yeah, that's right.
So the next item I have for council consideration tonight is a resolution. I've got Rachel here from the co-op and some documents to support the resolution. I think maybe do you want to start?
Sure.
And then I'll help with everything I can.
Sure, so we've got some tired buildings and we need to do something. We've been going back and forth, thinking if we would like to do it in town. Obviously, we'd like to keep our business in town. We do have property that will be available up north of town, but we've been waiting for several years on environmental to be complete on that. In waiting for that, we'd like to maintain our business in Blackduck. We'd like to keep it in city limits. We do not, I don't know if anybody's aware of what the co-op owns or does not own up at the property, but what we would call the office building and warehouse is on property that we actually own. But the elevator, the fertilizer plant, everything else is actually on rail bank property. So we pay a lease to MnDOT for it. We are asking MnDOT to convey property to us to the kind of the southeast. East of our fertilizer plant, our elevator. They are willing to do that, just kind of start the process, but they would like to have notification from the city that
that you would be willing to have it conveyed to you and then to us, because they can only sell to a government entity. So that's what we're here to ask. Would the city be willing to have the property conveyed to them and then sold to us? We pay the attorney fees, any costs involved in it. And as long as we're doing it, we're not just talking the property to the east. We'd like to own the property, the fertilizer plant, the elevator is on, and the state, quite honestly, is okay with not owning the fertilizer plant. Can't imagine why, but
Shocking.
but this is kind of step one, to get the okay from you guys, and then what I would need to do next, write a letter with our proposal saying that we have you guys on board, and then I would start title work and go from there.
And in lieu of that as well, I would have the city attorney draft a memorandum of understanding as to where the shared responsibilities are between state, city, and the co-op, so that everyone is understanding that we're just really working as the in-between to make this transaction really happen. There's no risk to the city in doing this, and our city attorneys already preliminary looked at this request from the co-op. You can see that by this exhibit, this is just a sample. The state actually has final say as to how much that they would and where that line would go. This is again just an example, but by statute they have to reserve 100 feet of rail bank at all times. So they still have to keep part of the rail bank. Where that line is going to go is going to be up to them. So that could change.
It's negotiable. 100 feet in the market.
I think so. That's how I read the statute.
That's how it was.
Yeah.
Let me talk, because we were in a Zoom meeting, and I come in and said, it'd probably be a U-shape on the building. Close to the elevator.
Right, because yeah, that's what I'm looking at, is that 200 or whatever.
Because in the picture they have it on the far end.
They do. I mean, and again, that was just a sample. But yeah, I mean, at any point, if it's not feasible for the co-op to take what the state will allow, that process can stop at any point with no risk. But without the city's cooperation to the conveyance of the property, the co-op can't even start. So I've drafted a resolution for the council to agree to allow this process to start, and then we can make more motion on this.
Before I do any title work, anything, the state wants to know that the city would be willing to convey it, because it's a waste of time for both parties.
Correct. Correct.
We do not want to see co-op leave city limits.
No.
But because we don't want to leave either.
It's been there, yeah, that's where it's gonna be, so let's get this passed.
Approval to move forward now.
Yeah, if we get the resolution done, then I can continue working with Rachel and the state.
I'll move to approve resolution 2022-10, acknowledging support in Blackduck for the hay service.
Second.
Motion in a second. Any discussion on that? No. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Not a chance. Okay,
Thank you very much.
No problem.
thank you, Rachel.
Thank you.
Ooh, the sun's really beating down on this meeting. Wait for my shades to come in. The next item I have for council to move on is a request from the garden club. It's my understanding at the work session, there was discussion about maintenance of the garden club's planters down there. And there was an agreement that the council would take liquor rent funds to help support the reconstruction of this. So I've got Sarah Anderson put this together.
Okay.
I hope I understood everything correctly,
No,
but
correct.
if that was where the financial support was supposed to come from, then I'll need formal approval for this. And it's up to $3,500. you don't know if that's exactly.
Correct, yeah.
We don't
Yep.
have any estimates right now,
Right,
right?
right, that's right.
Anybody want to make a motion to approve that? Donation to the fire
I'll
department?
motion to approve the OT Farm RV.
No, we're on item E.
Oh, sorry, where are we? E. Oh, there is no number on it.
Yes, but it's not a resolution.
Oh, okay.
It's a donation request.
Donation.
Yes.
Thank you.
So Laura, you're approving the
I'll
donation
approve.
request?
Yes.
I'll second that one.
Any discussion on this? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Passes.
Now we're on to item F. Sorry. This is,
So just confused.
next, this is the USDA Form RD 1942-47. This is actually the loan resolution for the Public Works Police facility that needs to get approved formally in order to continue the funding process for. I need,
Yes, this is what we discussed at the last,
that is correct.
at the work session, and we just need to get this
Authorized.
authorized.
Yep.
So I will go ahead and make a motion to renew the authorization for the public works. No?
You're approving a loan resolution.
Yes, I'm making a
Okay.
motion to approve the resolution.
He's making the motion.
Okay.
Discussion on this,
No.
second time we've passed. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, passes. Stage.
Yes, G is an MOU that I drafted in support of the performance stage construction. I pretty much used what we've done with other projects like the beach as a sample. Provided this to Jake and Dwight for review, to make sure all parties were in agreement to this. This basically gives that cohort the ability to plan, process, work with the city on placement. Financials will be governed by be cared for in the city funds. I'll provide budgets to both entities for review. That way, whoever's making donations, put it. So I need approval of that.
I'll move to approve the MOU for the new stage at the Wayside West.
Second, yes.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on it? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Passed.
Anything else to add?
Not this time.
I'll get your signature later.
Do you have a meeting set up yet for the, looking at it?
Okay, item H is the revised credit card policy for the departments. As the work session processed this, I've changed the existing credit card policy to include the other 3 departments and in consult with our independent auditors, updated the acknowledgement that all the departments that hold the credit card would have to sign. So I need approval on this revision, and then I'll go through the purchasing process, purchasing policy.
Okay,
Revised credit card.
motion, do I have a second?
A second.
Is there any discussion on this?
I have one point of order to make, and that is the discussed credit limits to each department is not set in stone. It depends on what the city can actually achieve from our creditors. So regardless of what was discussed at the work session, that is not necessary, in my opinion, side point, but may not necessarily be approved by our creditors. So although council thought it was necessary to provide certain departments with very large credit limits, it isn't 100% going to happen. I can't that guarantee. I'm still in the process of things to find that out.
Does your amount change per month, or how
No,
is that?
we have a city or company limit, and we can add as many card holders to the account. But that umbrella of dollar amount gets filtered down to the departments then. Okay, so if we only get $15,000 credit limit for the whole city, one person's not gonna get $15,000,
And so what is it currently
$5,500.
for the whole city?
Correct.
No. Yours is 5,500.
Okay, it's 7,000 if you add.
What's the difference? I mean,
Great, perfect.
numbers are the numbers. It's not 5,500 divided by all departments.
So in that
It's
process,
seven,
you just apply
losing.
for,
Yeah. Well, it's
I mean, when I go and get a
responsible.
credit card, they run my credit score.
That's
and they give
exactly what's
me-
happening.
Okay,
They're gonna read our, they're gonna look at our credit and our revenues for the entire city and see what we can achieve.
okay.
Okay, we have still have a motion on the table. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
I
Aye. Opposed? Carried. On to the purchasing policy.
I made several revisions. Had it reviewed by our independent auditors. Consulted the League of Minnesota Cities, looked at the changes that were discussed at the work session. Mike brought up a couple of additional points. So all the red line is what is being changed prior to today. The items on page 3 under the bidding requirements have been amended since the packet draft went out on Friday. Keep in mind, this hasn't been done since for 20 years, so there's been a lot of changes, so,
I get it.
yeah. Otherwise, the rest of the document should still stand.
All right, we'll need a motion to approve purchasing policy.
I motion to approve the purchasing policy.
For a second.
I'm sorry.
Anybody have any questions or discussion on this before we vote? Okay. All those in favor?
I
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, passes.
I just have a bunch of dates there next to go through and
There's a lot of dates.
yeah, the developers meeting for this month is April 13th. The next work session for the council is 18th.
The 13th, we're also having a revolving loan fund.
Yes, very good point. Yeah, I have that down. No, I have it on the
20th.
20th. That's been moved.
Got moved?
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say, I thought I had it on the agenda. It had to be moved. I will be out of town.
Okay.
So the 20th, that next Wednesday, is the chamber meeting at noon, the revolving loan fund committee meeting at 1, and then the planning commission meeting at 2. And we have to get everything done in an hour each.
Then there's a meeting at 7.
Yes, I left that under public works. May 2nd is the local board of appeals and equalization meeting here at City Hall for anybody that's just received their tax statement in Hines in the city of Blackduck area. If you want to talk to the assessor, they'll be here at 9 a.m. that day.
There's a guy with a lucky job, huh?
And then May 9th,
Yeah, he's.
May 9th is the next regular council meeting. And that's all I have unless anyone has any further questions or comments for me.
Nope. Chamber appreciation night. Bingo.
Yeah, we're taking RSVPs for chamber appreciation, open invitation, $15 a plate. RSVP to myself or Paige if you wish to go.
The Fireman's Fish Fry is also April 24th,
Mhm. 11 to 1.
so that's back.
Thank you.
Would you say April?
24th.
What, do you have the time on that?
11 to 1.
11 to 1?
So I can put that on that. On
Oh,
our sign.
yeah.
Oh, awesome.
And then my first grill and chill will be April 29th.
What time is the grill and chill?
6. You said April 29th?
Yep.
Thanks, Misty.
And your staff appreciation dinner, what was what time to get together?
5.
5.
And that was the 13th.
There's a lot of,
But
there's enough on the 13th. Anybody have anything else? I have a motion to adjourn. Is there a second? We're adjourned. Thank you.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
That's awesome.
Figure that's easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
you want a hard
Working
copy
really
right now,
late.
and then I'll turn it over to
I was working really late. They had sent.
You gotta chaperone.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, so it's like.